Greetings, members, one and all of the Salivation Nation, with another update on the continuing saga with Republic Metals Corporation and their Chapter 11 bankruptcy filing. It looks like it's going to be offered up again for sale. Yes, I'd received some information anonymously with some documents here that show that there's going to be a hearing, a date on the January the 9th for a sale of the assets of the debtors and of the Republic Metals Corporation coming up here. It's quite fascinating indeed. As you know, it rocked the precious metals world, announcing what had happened there. Of course, Republic Metals had been in hot water for some time over potential criminal activity and or engaging in purchasing what's called blood gold from out of South American gold mines coming through the port of Miami, and causing quite a big issue, and of course mismanagement of funds and monies, and of course with the announcement of this bankruptcy filing and the potential of it being sold off, there's a lot of people out of a lot of money, with Republic Metals holding a lot of silver. And I know of two people who have money tied up with Republic Metals, and my hope is that with this sale that perhaps all that will be sorted out. But nonetheless, it is fascinating to see the activity here as of late, and we'll find out. As I've had reported in the past, there was an offer originally put out that was retracted from Valcambi Swiss that they may purchase Republic Metals. But that fell through. I think once they knew what they were getting into, they decided not to. So imagine the sale will probably occur for quite a bargain. Now, with this particular thing here, we can see from this documentation that there will be, I guess, an auction that will occur for the corporation. But it here says that in the overview is contemplated by the bid procedures order, dated, and it will be January the 9th, authorizing and scheduling an auction at which Republic Metals Corporation and the Republic Carbon Company, J&L Republic, etc., et al., so to speak there, as debtors and debtors in possession, will solicit higher and better offers in connection with the sale of the assets, assumed liabilities, and assigned contracts and leases. So that means that the two people who I know of and entities that I know of that are, and many others, by the way, who have money tied up, will hopefully get some resolution there, is my hope. But nonetheless, it'll be see how this thing proceeds with this occurring on the 9th of January. We'll find out where it occurs, but the sellers contemplate the sale of substantially all of the assets other than inventory. Oh, that's interesting, including without limitation all furniture, fixtures, equipment, tools, supplies, computers, phone systems, vehicle, trademark, trade secrets, goodwill, assignable permits and licenses, and other tangible and intangible personal property of the sellers and the real estate and fixtures located at their offices in Florida. And now, not necessarily the inventory. Maybe this inventory that's not sold. The thing is, if money's changed hands, that inventory, I believe, should be delivered to the parties. And my hope is that the two entities that I'm aware of will get their inventory in time there for sure. But it's part of what's going on here, and we'll see how this plays out. If whatever bidder does take possession of the company, the next question is what will happen? What will they do from that point? Will they try to revive the business somehow, make order of it? We shall see how it will play out. But nonetheless, it is fascinating to see how this all plays out, and whatever company does take over, if they can revive it in such a way, or somehow swallow up the enterprise to make their enterprise stronger, which means that there's going to be less competition and potentially higher prices down the road for a lot of the services they do if their competitors or if a competitor buys them out, but we'll see. But I mean, RMC was known for being one of the biggest in the country, North America, the world. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Could Valcambi be one to make a bid and take over? We'll see what happens. It'll be interesting to see. But nonetheless, I think for those of us in the precious metals community here, it's something to pay attention to because of how I mentioned before about pricing and the like, and how that will affect refining, and not only that, but the acquisition of gold and silver. I believe that from here on out, there's going to be a lot more at stake in taking in gold and silver from outside the country, which will, I think, potentially affect price. If there's more involved in vetting the silver and gold that comes into the country, then my guess is that's probably going to affect price as well. And so I think there's a lot of things at play here that I think will potentially could change the industry for quite a long time. Because who knows how long some of this dirty gold supposedly had been coming into the country. And if they start to crack down on some of this illegal gold mining in Peru and other areas, then that means there's less gold to be had. I don't know how much, obviously there was billions of dollars worth that were being, where there was a racket going on that they had uncovered and stopped. And so how will that play out in the landscape and in the markets? It's anyone's guess. We'll see. But there you have it. That's the news. And I want to thank the anonymous source for sending this along. And we'll see how what goes on and who obtains the sale. I'm sure that probably will make mainstream news when it does occur and how the auction will take place. But very fascinating indeed. Post your thoughts below on this news. What do you think about Republic Metals? And the other question is what about their existing products? I've got a bar and a couple of rounds from Republic Metals. I don't think they're going to really go too much up in price. I think there might be some short-term demand for their products, and that could cause maybe a very slight spike in price for some things, maybe on eBay or certain other avenues or exchanges. But nonetheless, I believe that there's enough of them out there that it's not going to have a whole lot of an effect on their value above spot price for sure. It's just kind of one of those novelty type things to have. Case in point, you've seen that with Northwest Territorial Mint. None of their stuff is really going for high dollar. It's only really the vintage collectors and some of the older companies that have gone out of business legitimately. Those you might see a different scenario with those in those tight communities. After recording the previous portion of the video, I found this article here that kind of explains a little bit more in detail and gives some other different timeline. This is coming to us from SSG Capital. Will identify the bidders for bankruptcy refining for the Republic Metals. And this comes to us from ABL Advisor. And basically, it looks like the dates are going to be, maybe it could be that the bids will be starting on January the 9th, but they will but the bids must be submitted by January 28th, which means that the sale hearing is scheduled for February 4th through the 8th, 2019. And to further explain, it says, to assist in the marketing and sale, a bankruptcy court in New York has approved the engagement of SSG Capital Advisors, an experienced investment banking firm specializing in the sale of financially distressed businesses. SSG marketed the debtors' assets for over 2 months pre-petition and has been actively marketing the assets since the commencement of the Chapter 11 cases. According to court records, SSG contacted numerous potential buyers and identified multiple parties who may be ready, willing, and able to complete a purchase on a timely basis. However, there is no proposed stalking horse bidder at the time. The plan has the backing of the company's senior lenders, including some of these bigger banks and the like. But nonetheless, so to qualify as a qualified bidder, interested parties must submit their bids by January the 28th. So there will be a sort of an auction, but in a slightly different way that you and I think of an auction. I'm not as familiar with this type of thing, but so there's the information on that. Hope that helps clear some of that up. But quite interesting indeed. We'll see how it all plays out, but we probably won't know until after February, the beginning of February. Nonetheless, there it is. I hope you enjoyed this video. Post any thoughts or any information you may have in the comment section below. And I would like to extend a multitude of gratitude to y'all for watching and encourage you to please rate, comment, and subscribe.